There I was, sitting in English class when I looked down to my book and I realized we have a bunch of questions to answer. Everybody was groaning and moaning, like, oh, we have so many questions to answer, miss, how are we going to finish this? But I decided to focus down, and I've been learning these productivity tactics, and I've decided to use it on this work. So I just kept refocusing at the task. And I ended up blazing through all the questions with every single question correct, every single question with ease. And I finished what was meant to take the whole lesson in only 20 minutes. While everybody else was still in halfway through the questions, I was there sitting, waiting for everyone to finish. I couldn't help but feel so interested at how I was able to finish all of this work while everybody else was just halfway through the question sheet. And I finished within 20 minutes. What would have taken a whole 40 minutes. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the exact tactics I've been using to finish so much work in such little time. The first tactic I'm going to tell you is Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law basically states that if you have 1 month to do a task, then it's going to take you 1 month to do a task. If you have that same task, but you reduce it to 1 week, you have 1 week to do that task. So let me give you an example. Let's say in school, you're back in school and you have an assessment that you have to hand in by next month. And it only really takes you 1 hour to do. You're going to procrastinate because you keep thinking that, oh, I have time tomorrow, I have time tomorrow, I have time tomorrow. And then on the 29th day, that's when you do it. That's when you're in a panic, you're in a rush, trying to finish it. That's when you're in a panic. And that's when you finish that 1 hour task in less time probably. And let's say you had a week to do that task, then it would have only taken you 1 week. Because we just think of like, we have more time. And how can you use this in like a practical sense? Because it's cool to have an assignment, but like, you just need to set deadlines for yourself. When you are able to set deadlines for yourself, strict deadlines, where you'll say, I'm going to record 2 videos tomorrow. And when you do that, you give a deadline to yourself. Because if you don't have a deadline, you think to yourself, oh, I can do it tomorrow. No, you need to become your own boss. You can't wait for the teacher to give you homework, the teacher to give you questions. You're going to have to give it to yourself. You're going to have to give yourself deadlines. That is the secret to most successful people. But this doesn't mean you give yourself unrealistic like goals where I could say, oh, I'm going to record 2 videos in 10 minutes. Because that's going to change the format of my videos. I'm going to end up making a shorter video. So what you want to do is not change like the work. So let's say you have to do an assessment about World War I, and you set a deadline of 20 minutes, but you end up talking very vaguely about World War I. Compared to, let's say you set a deadline of 1 hour, but you talk very in depth in World War I. Your deadline should not really change like the amount of work you do and how much you go into depth with it. So avoid the mistake of setting unrealistic deadlines. Set a deadline for yourself, make it realistic, and use that for the rest of your life. And I've recently used this, and I've noticed my videos have just pumped out. The second tactic I want to use is the 80-20. When I was sitting there in English class, I was thinking, oh, there's so many questions, but what was the most important task at that time? It was answering the questions that I knew I could do. Because the 80-20 states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. So you need to find what is your 20% of actions that's going to give you 80% of the results. So for me, it would have been speaking, recording videos. For you, it might be outreaching. It could be practicing copy, like as a copywriter. You got to identify what is the 20% that give you 80% of the results. What is the most important task? And that is what I want you to focus on for our next tip, which is going to be deep work and flow. When you're in a flow state, which is deep work, is when you have no thoughts in your mind, where you're present in the now, and when work feels effortless. Do you remember a time when you were just so ingrained in a task where it just felt like you had no thoughts in your mind? You were like one with the task and you felt like in the zone. That was flow. Flow makes work feels effortless. Our body wants us to get into flow, but most men never achieve flow. So I'm going to tell you how to reach flow in this video. You need to understand that there are actually 4 cycles to flow, which is the blockers, the proners, the triggers, and the cycle. So the blockers, if you want to get into flow, you can't constantly be checking your phone. You can't constantly be opening new tab. That is the struggle phase. When you sit down and focus on one thing for long extended periods of time. You're gonna feel like, yeah, you don't want to do it. I don't want to focus on outreach. I don't want to focus on one task for long enough. I don't want to read for long enough. But that is what we want. We want you to feel this discomfort that, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like you're about literally this close to quitting. And then you're gonna hit the release. Release is when you've been struggling, and most men live their lives here where they struggle so much, but then they end up just procrastinating. They say, "Oh, that's too hard. I'll read later." They give up. But if you push hard enough and you get into the release stage, you enter flow. You enter this state where it's literally just like you're in this haze where work feels effortless and there's no thoughts in your mind. Like right now, I have no thoughts in my mind. I feel like I'm in the now. And this is the peak human experience. When you hit flow, it is scientifically proven to be the peak human experience. And there's no woo-woo BS. This has literally been backed by science. So while you're in flow, you're going to feel like you're in this haze, in this moment of just effortless work. And just enjoy it and grind it out. And while you're here, enjoy it and grind it out, doing your most. And you want to use flow for your most important task. So your 20% that gives you 80% of the results. So you don't want to use flow to just do random little tasks. You want to use flow for your big task. For example, for me, it would be recording a video because I didn't feel like recording the video. I didn't feel like getting up from bed. But Parkinson's law, flow, these tactics have gotten me out of bed, woken up. Now I'm here. So the last thing you need to do is the recovery period. The recovery period is where you recover all the chemicals released in flow. Because while you're in flow, your brain, like I said, it's not this woo-woo thing. Your brain actually releases so many chemicals, so much dopamine, cortisol, all these chemicals. So your brain and body need to rest. You need to recover all those chemicals. And you do that by meditating, cold shower, sunlight, viewing sunlight, going to nature. Just calm yourself down and recover these things so you're ready to just go into flow later on in the day. And there is this very, very, very powerful tactic that I'm going to tell you today. And that is the tactic that I've been using to record almost every single one of my videos. And that is to literally hit flow as soon as I wake up. And that is, you wake up and 60 to 90 seconds after waking up, while you're still somewhat tired, you literally sit down and do your most important task. That's why my hair is a little bit of a mess. And you might be wondering, well, why? Don't I need a cold shower? Don't I need to meditate? Well, why would I work so early? I can't even work. I go to school. I got so many things. The issue with having all of this like daily morning routine of visualizing my goals, taking a cold shower, all of this, these are good, but the issue with this is that they're meant to help you get into flow. But when you have just woken up, literally just open your eyes, that is when your flow proneness is highest. But when you meditate, you take cold showers, your flow proneness actually decreases compared to the one when you wake up. Because when you wake up, your brain waves are very, very similar to the ones you have in flow. So that's why flow proneness is very, very high as soon as you wake up. Compared to when you meditate, you visualize your goals, you take a cold shower. They're beneficial, but you should use that when you're in the recovery period rather than when you want to get into flow. So wake up, 60 to 90 seconds after you wake up, you do your most important task with a flow state while fasted. Because let me give you a little bit of a side tangent. That fasting, like literally eating, takes up 60% of your focus. So if you don't eat, you're literally 60% better. You literally never lived your life just fully focused because you've probably always been digesting food. So you wake up, no food, you literally 60 to 90 seconds. You wake up, you literally don't eat anything. And you do the 80-20, your most important task at that time, early in the day. So you literally just get all your day free without stress. And you get a confidence boost because you don't have to keep worrying about and you know that you've done something in your day, something productive, something that's helped you a lot. So it just boosts confidence boost. And you might be thinking, but I can't, I got school, I got all these responsibilities. The truth is, you're just gonna have to wake up earlier. I know it's an unsexy answer, but it's just the truth. You're gonna have to wake up earlier. You're gonna have to wake up at 6 a.m. like I am and just focus on your work. Because if you want to become successful, if your goal right now is to make money, start a business, then you're gonna have to sacrifice things. You can't start a business with, oh yeah, let me just sleep until 7 p.m. then I'll go to school, and then when I get back from school I'll work. No, until you are working before you go to school, I don't believe you're gonna be successful. I truly don't believe you're gonna be successful if it's not your priority. If you're not spending your literal morning hours doing your most important task, I don't believe you're gonna be successful. So you still want to do all these like recovery things of meditation, cold shower, nature, because you still need to recover after flow, because flow is very demanding task. The common thing amongst lots of billionaires is that they wake up and work. This is what I've just told you. But the issue with them is that they only work, they only grind out flow, but they end up not recovering. So they literally burn out so quickly because they don't recover from flow, and they wonder why they burn out so quickly. Compared to the other people, which is a little biohacker, death meditation, viewing my goals, taking a cold shower. Those are good, but they're decreasing your flow proneness. So you need a balance between the two. You can't be the billionaire that burns out easily, but you can't be the little biohacker that doesn't even get into flow. You need a balance between the two, where you wake up, work, grind out flow with your 80-20, Parkinson's law to actually help you complete your work, and then after that, you recover. You view the sunlight, you meditate, you take the cold shower. That's the recovery phase. That's when you can do all your goal viewing, all of that. That's when you're meant to. Because if you do all of these little goal viewing meditation before you hit flow, then after you wake up, then your flow proneness goes down, and flow proneness means how easy it is for you to get into flow. So with that said, I really hope you benefited from this video, and go try one of these tactics out. Probably Parkinson's law is the most easy one to implement, but try to wake up earlier, try to get into flow, and remember to do 20% of the actions that give you 80% of the results. So good luck, and I see you tomorrow. Mwah.